And thank you very, very much indeed for staying with us here on TV3Newday. Later in the show, we will have a conversation with the dentist, get to find out why it's necessary to wear braces or why it is not, and what role that plays in your dental life. Also, we will talk about whether or not, if you're a woman, you would accept to be a second wife, and why that is. But let's get into the dailies now. Daily Ghanaian Times says police hunt for suspects in robbery of woman's 29,000. Disturbances after MMDC's nomination. 12 arrested in Chereponi. PIAC update. Ghana bags $6.550 billion in oil revenue from 2011 to 2020. Fix the country demo hit Sekedi Takrady. Yesterday we brought you those pictures. And Hawakum Sin hands over church hall to Kaswa Methodist Church. Daily Guide says horror in Takrady. Kidnapped pregnant woman found. The baby of the pregnant woman is missing. Shocking indeed. Nana wants SDGs scaled up. Kaswa killer teens trial set after legal vacation, and Dubois Center to become a museum. The Finder. Government partners Dubois Foundation to transform Dubois Center into a museum complex. Also, new ADB board determined to pay dividend, and hasting SDG implementation to build fairer, prosperous world. President Akufo-Addo is a UN co-chair on our SDGs. Calm your followers, support president's nominees as Sabi appeals to losing MMDC aspirants and their supporters. And Ghana must not take its peacefulness for granted, UN resident coordinator. The BNFT, Building Our Future, Saving Our Youth. Patricia Sapo recognized at Africa Business Leaders 2021 Awards. Government must use part of the $1 billion SDR fund to retire zero coupon bond. And analysts project MPC to stay policy rate. Also, ban on PPAs can affect energy transition drive. Well, the Daily Graphic, consolidate the peace, speakers advocate. CPP resurrects Nkrumah on birthday, and trans-border business involving banks, BOG, NIB probe, 656 ATM cards. Back page, spillage unlikely as water develops drop in Burkina dams, and we'll get into those issues as well. Well, I think we're done with that. Well, this morning also is a birthday of a very special individual who led the ICU, not the intensive care unit, but the ICU on the labor front for a very, very long time, the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union. Mr. Solomon Kute, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you, a former secretary, general secretary of the ICU. This is from Daniel Opoku and Frank Ayi here at TV3, and also the head of the gender desk at the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, Christine Asante. They wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Kute. Live long. Also, a happy birthday to Mr. David Atawi Syme. It's your birthday today. Your brother, Jonathan Syme, and the rest of the family wish you all the best. George AEC is the PRO of the National Disaster Management Organization. George, good morning, welcome.
Good morning, Johnny.
He's here on the ticket of the NPP. Well, we don't have an NDC rep yet, so if you're watching, please call them that they're late. They can have their own car, but not their own road. George, how is the Wednesday going?
It's good. It's good.
Good. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Yesterday was Nkrumah's birthday.
Yeah.
How did you celebrate it?
It was a national holiday, and so I took it cool. That's the issue. So, and I thought every Ghanaian also celebrated it. The Founders Day, depending on who is saying the founders, will determine where the apostrophe is going to be. But I put the apostrophe after the S, Founders Day. But I had other people also calling it Kwame Nkrumah Memorial
That's
Day.
actually what the new act says. So okay. The Founders Day
yes.
is on the 4th of August.
Oh, okay.
per this new
Okay,
regime.
okay,
Yes.
okay. So yesterday was actually
President
Kwame
Mills had
Nkrumah.
named it the 21st of September as
Yes.
Founders Day.
Yes.
Then when President Akufo-Addo came, he changed it and made 4th August
The Founders.
Day,
Oh, okay.
and then 21st of September
Kwame
Nkrumah
Nkrumah.
Memorial Day.
That's, I think, a great honor. In fact, I was saying I would not have a problem with those calling it Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day because it's, stands him out, okay, and gives him those accolades. He played a giant role in our independence struggle, and not only our independence struggle, but the entire liberation of the African continent. And it was in his speech, that famous speech. And so, yes, if the authorities and parliament deem it proper to dedicate a day in his honor, I think it is properly situated. And so then we don't need to be having a haggle over Founders Day and then whatever, founders and founders, because a day has been set aside to celebrate and honor the great Osagyefo. And so I think it's a good thing, and let's honor him. He's played a great role in our independence, and then post-independence, the building of our nation, Ghana. You cannot do anything or write the history of Ghana without the name of Osagyefo written in gold. And so you remember along the line somewhere, BBC voted him the African of the Millennium.
That's right.
Deservedly so. And so I think yesterday was a great day, and let's continue to honor our heroes, both alive and dead, so that others will pick up that as a challenge to them to do their best for Ghana.
What better honor is there when the leader of the CPP now, Nana Akosua Frimpong Sapon Koma, says that for all the monies that you collected from young people who want to serve either in the police, the military, fire service, and all of that, it amounts to extortion. So refund the monies to them. Yesterday was the deadline for the ultimatum that they had set. Would the government budge?
Well, I don't know where the engagement or the conversation has reached as far as that call is concerned. But I think my youth leader, when we were in opposition, had also intimated or made that call, and it was a clarion call.
Mr. Samuel Okuyimi.
Yes, yes. Now the chief executive or the managing director of National Lotteries. At that time, I supported the call, and if the argument is being made then and still being made now, Johnny, that is the need is an administrative expenditure. Okay, and I say, what better, especially under this government that is taking a lot of the responsibilities of the shoulders of parents, okay, especially WASI registration, BEC registration, and all those little things. Why can't we extend this gesture to these young people? Okay, they're struggling to get a job. And many of them, immigration, about 100,000 people buy forms, and we know they are not going to take more than 500.
Right.
Or even now, government is giving about 2,000, right? So it's not going to go beyond 2,000. And we're taking that. Can't we get something from the coffers to get them to do administrative work, okay? So that these things, you go online, you get into the system. If you qualify, they tell you qualify, and there we go. I am with the CPP people calling for that because I wouldn't want to be a pretentious person because I supported it when my youth leader then made that call.
Right.
Now we are in power. I shouldn't be seen to be, looking away. So I think they should engage government properly, especially the finance ministry on this matter. And the labor minister and others, so that we will look at this comprehensively and see how we can get administrative funding for all these security agencies so that we will withdraw the 1 million, the 100 Ghana they take for the processing of these.
Well, also another way to honor Nkrumah is to protect his legacy and to flourish sane. Your government is very keen on education. And yesterday I saw something that broke my heart. A pencil factory that was set up by Dr. Nkrumah has been abandoned, and we are now importing pencils. Maybe that you put those footages out there for us to see the extent of neglect where we are now importing pencils. If education is central to the government's success, why are we still importing pencils, for example?
Very, very important, especially on the heels of the fact that we are embarking on creation of one factory. You cannot. I lived at Osamankese, a lot of my times, and Kede is closer to Osamankese.
Right.
Kede, understand, had the match factory, right? But it's no more there.
Right.
You're talking pencil, and then we remember Bonster ties when we're growing up. If you read the the geography books, social studies books and co, you saw some of these things, and you're sure you'll be asked questions on that. And so if there was a pencil factory and it's been challenged, we all saw the processes in the 80s and the early to the late 90s, the divestiture implementation programs and projects and co by Jerry Rawlings. I believe it was with a good motive, so that individuals or others who are ready and have the capacity to get the factories running would have taken over to get them running. But unfortunately, most of such factories that were taken over couldn't run. They ended up being domes for churches and other things. Okay, so it's unfortunate, but I think TV3, you've been doing a great job by picking on some of these things and putting it in the public domain. For all you know, it's going to catch the attention of the trade minister, and then we'll take a look at that. And you are right, we cannot be saying we are investing so much in the educational sector, and then we'll be importing and making other countries, especially China, rich, okay, at the expense of Ghana, when maybe we have the raw materials that we can use to produce a pencil in our country. So it's a good call. On the heels of 1B1F, I believe the trade minister will take a second look at that. We'll be able to inject life into that factory.
See, there's also the question of a silo, and I want to tie that in with the present ban on the exportation of food, particularly grains. Yeah. If it happens, then it will fall also on your lap as a disaster management organization. Because when there's food shortage and people, there's stampede, they will ask you to bring food, and if you don't have the food. So now, exportation of grains and cereals have been banned. But Dr. Nkrumah also had a vision to have silos all across the country to preserve particularly grains and cocoa, which is a cash crop even up until now. Those have also been abandoned. Some, I'm told, have been given for people to use as hotels. Some have become a haven for reptiles. Some haven for prostitutes and all manner of miscreants. Some have been turned into private homes for people. And it's all over. Some at the industrial area here, all over the place. Now we say we are building new, warehouses. I'm trying to marry the two. Why abandon one thing and say you're going to build the same thing, and what you're building is not even up to what has been abandoned? Are we serious as a people?
You see, under the Great Osajifo, we did a lot of state ownership of some of these investments. And we saw, the state farms, state housing and others, and we saw the damage it did to us as a people, okay? We ourselves couldn't manage them well. Some people began using them as their own bona fide properties, okay, and used them anyhow. And so they were not breaking even, let alone making profit for government to be able to sustain them. Though we had employed a lot of our young people in those areas. Okay, so the silos were brilliant ideas by the Great Osajifo, and to protect, store food for the lean season. And we all know what it is, especially grains in the lean season. And that is, in our local environments, we keep some of these corn and coal on our bands. Okay, and they set fire under them and coal, so that in the lean season, farmers are able to sell them at a better and higher prices. That was the motive of the Great Osajifo. The silos worked till a point, and then as part of the divestiture program, we had to veer away and abandon. We had, I think, whether it's still there, the Grain Development Company or something, yes.
Now, the government says it wants to do a Grain Development Authority. Yeah, okay. That's what this government wants to do.
Yes, and so we are picking some of all these things that have been there before to bring them back to life. Warehouses that we are building, that is the objective. And the buffer stock, we have the is it National Food Company
Right, National
and all
Food
those
Company,
things? Yes, they are all to get some buy from the farmers at the farm gates at a better price compared to the market woman or the middle woman, and then we'll store them for the better lean season so we can push them back onto the market. And so it's a good step, even though I agree the silos, the challenges that the silos faced, like the state farms and co, was unfortunate. But it's good we are bringing back. Even the name is semantics, right? The naming issue, warehouse or silos and co. These intend to serve the same purpose. And so I commend the government and the Agri Minister for pushing this agenda seriously. Johnny, if we're saying we're banning exportation, it's right.
Why is it right? When you say you're a net exporter of food, the president stood in Parliament in the State of the Nation address, said Ghana is now a net exporter of food. He says there has been no shortage of food.
Yes.
It was specific.
Yes.
A Greek minister was in Parliament. He was nodding.
Yes.
Subsequently, he will hold a press conference to say anybody who says there's shortage of food is not saying the right thing. He said that on a Sunday afternoon.
Good.
Subsequently, the rice farmers and the peasant farmers and importers and exporters will say the president cannot be right. The Greek minister cannot be right because we still import tomato from Morocco. We still import food from Burkina Faso and all of that. They shut it down. Now you go onto the market, the price of maize, a bag of maize, has ballooned. It used to be 120 something. Now it's gone towards 400 cedis or so.
Yeah, 375.
Then the deputy minister for Agri comes to speak to the president, says that, look, it only makes sense that if your children can't find food, you first give them the food. Question is, how long did it take them to realize that what the farmers themselves were telling them and not the figures that they had on paper announcing to people and saying in Parliament under oath was the truth?
No, Johnny, is it a fact? You're a journalist, and I know your media station, you do investigations and follow-ups. Is it a fact that somewhere along the line we were exporting grains? Is a fact. So if we observe that if we continue to export, we're going to have a deficit back home. Any wise leader will press the pause button and say, look, let's reflect and be able to sustain our people before, because if you export all and then there's shortage within, are you now going back to imports?
I'm talking about the space of time within which those comments were made. And then because the minister's press conference on the Sunday.
Was it a press conference or a rebuttal on?
No, the minister. It was a meet the press on a Sunday. I remember that.
Yes.
The address. It was on the front page.
At that time, he was emphatic that
exactly
we are not.
And in a space of 1 month,
yes,
we say let's ban it. Yes. That's where the thing is.
That's futuristic. 1 month is long time.
Is it?
Yes, to see that, no. If we don't do this, in the next 3 or 4 months, we'll be saddled with shortages and we'll have no choice but to go importing. Okay? So that is futuristic planning. And so I thought the Agri Minister and his deputies and co were right to say, look, let's hold on. We our figures, everything should we have, and we can continue to export. But if we do that, in the next 3-4 months, we'll be
but nobody knows.
in dire straits.
You see, George, nobody knows the limits of the ban. So if you are banning, you're a management person. If you are banning the exportation of food, you can say, oh, we have noticed this trend. So we anticipate that in the next 3 months, if we stop it, we can have enough store and then we can start exporting to make more forex for the country.
Yeah.
As it stands now, nobody knows the limit of the ban that has been imposed.
Johnny Hughes.
Now, if I am an exporter of rice or maize or wheat or soybean or any of those things, and I've gone to a Greek bank to go and take a loan to farm in anticipation that I want to export, you have stopped the ban, you are not giving me a good price. How do I pay back the money? Are you trying to collapse my business and the people who depend on me?
Oh, we know.
First, tell me, do you know the limit of the ban?
No, I don't know.
You don't know the limit of the ban. Okay, now tell me. Let's talk about the job creation and the economic aspect of it. I've gone for a loan.
Yes.
I've gone to farm. I want to export.
Yes.
Now you see there's a ban. What do I do as a businessman?
No, what it implies is that if there is a ban, and then it means there's likely to be a shortage in the Ghanaian system or the economy. And then if I have invested and I have food stuff and I intend to export, and you don't want me to export, what it means is that you negotiate with me to buy for the local market, okay? And that is where government may then come to, buy it at a better price. Otherwise, this is, you took a loan, as you were saying, and for the objective to export, to get, forex. And so if government says don't export, then it means government has the capacity to, take or mop up what you have, okay, and even needs more, okay. So definitely it will negotiate the pricing with you and will not make you lose to the detriment of your business.
Let's go back to the Bible. Joseph in the Bible in Egypt under Pharaoh,
Yes.
he constructed warehouses,
That's good.
or if you like, the abundant silos.
Through the revelations of the Lord, right?
Right, and he was able to save food for them for the lean season.
Yes.
If we are saying that we have had over 140 warehouses as a government, okay, and we are still adding on, those warehouses are supposed to be holding food now. So we necessarily did not have to ban the exportation of food because the warehouses will be full.
No, as I said, the warehouses are within the districts. And each district has a certain number of people.
Okay.
What is the capacity of the warehouse, and for how long can it supply?
But that is the question that you should ask.
Most times you ask me the question.
Yes.
When there's a disaster, our warehouse, our stocks, how long can we, you ask those questions.
Right.
And those are very relevant questions, okay? And so you look at that same and ask, how long will it be? Maybe the warehouse, the 140 warehouses replete across the country, may be having food stuff, but they may not go beyond maybe 3 or 4 months, okay? And so then, as a good leader, you look at it and say, no, let's store it. Because as you said in Joseph, the Egyptians, Joseph had been warned that there will be bumper season for a certain number of years.
7 years.
And then thereafter, lean season for
7
and
years.
So you need to store for that. And what they did, they also banned exportation. That was what they did wisely, to have store, enough for the people and the whole people within the area coming to get supply from them. Okay, and so yes, as we are saying, I have confidence.
But in this instance, the
minister.
scenario does not apply to us because we've been storing food since 2018 when we started this the warehouses.
Okay.
If you are storing food,
of it.
and now in just 1 month, when you have come to announce to me that we have bumper harvest, anybody who says there's no food shortage is not being truthful. Then just in 1 month, you come and tell me you are banning exportation. Then I'll question what the capacity of your warehouses are and whether the warehouses are full or they are functional at all.
Yes, you can question, but it doesn't, take away the fact that I'm trying to be cautious. Okay? You say a common sense soldier is a soldier who advances or retreats to save a situation. Maybe you've assessed the situation and you realize if you continue to export,
I hear you.
we are going to be having challenges in 3, 4, 5 months to come.
I hear you.
I think it's a good decision by the agreement, but I believe they will review it and then tell Ghanaians, as you said, how long this ban is going to be, and then how soon are we going to have the free hands to again continue to allow our exporters to export these grains and cereals that we've been exporting. PFJ has actually brought some good returns to the agri sector, especially for grain in the grain sector. And we are in the agri sector, the tree development authority that has been established. It's also a very phenomenal step that we've taken. I have hope in the future for these countries, especially in the agri sector.
Why are your party people fighting when the president says, accept the list of nominees I'll give you for MMDCs? The president had taken the time to go on a tour. He had spoken to chiefs and spoken to party people. There's been vetting, meticulous, and all of that. Then president releases the list after 9 months, and people are fighting and breaking party property and beating chairmen and setting things on fire. Why are your people behaving like that?
Why? You've had some people beating people and setting.
Do you want me to play the video for you?
No, okay. I just want you to.
I wanted to play the video for you so that you, because why are people beating each other and destroying party property?
Johnny Hughes, you see, people have different varied objectives and reasoning for joining political parties. And some also have their leadings to individuals within the political parties. And they believe when those individuals are there, they will be able to implement the government policies in a way that will be beneficial to all of them. And so they are passionate about that individual getting it. And the president made it such that it is open. Let's shortlist people, let them come for vetting with their CVs and everything. I thought the process was thorough, detailed, and open. And so, you know, and I've realized something, that the president did something that some people don't seem to understand.
What did he do?
He in the selection processes, there's one Johnny Hughes who didn't put in application at all. Okay. And yet the president said, no, this particular Johnny Hughes in this district, I think can do the job. Okay. And so, in spite of the fact that his name is not among the shortlisted, he didn't even apply at all. Because of that person, take charge.
After 9 months?
you know, when all these things were done.
I must say, after 9 months, so he knew that a certain Johnny Hughes somewhere who had not applied for the job could do the job, and it took him 9 months to name the people.
As for the 9 month this thing, I think we've had elaborate discussions on that, and we admit that we delayed. But it's for our own good.
But then the excuse for the 9 months was that we're taking our time, we're being meticulous.
And that's what I'm saying.
We're vetting people.
That's why there's a certain Johnny Hughes that they thought, yes, we have our people here, there, but we think that Johnny Hughes can do the job better out of these. And so those are some of the things that, you know, have aggravated or incensed some of the party full soldiers. It's one. And others too, you know, I think, you see, the Constitution is made it clear that the president will nominate, okay? And then the assemblies will stamp it.
That's right.
Okay.
To test majority.
To test majority. You know, that's what the local government
Act 936.
Yeah, I don't know whether you're a PhD in local government. You get it. And so, if that is the case, why are we cracking our heads now? Because there's an opportunity for the assembly members to decide whether they accept or do not accept the president's nomination, okay, or nominee. And so let's not be fighting now. It's unfortunate that some people feel if their person is not there, you know, the world has come to an end. No, okay? I heard a local government minister saying that the appointment or nomination as a DCE is not a reward to party people. I agree with you.
Why do you say that?
Do you get it? You know,
when the committee that did the vetting, for example, mentioned that there are people who helped the party at the grassroots level, they worked with what you call the tripod. That's the government system, the party structure, and the assembly structure. That's what they call the tripod. And they said that such people sometimes even gave resources, and they were the ones who espoused the government's ideology and vision. I mean, clearly, it tells you that it's some kind of
a would definitely
a
be
reward.
Part of it. Some of those people would definitely be part of the list. Okay, and there are others too who, based on their competencies, and the local government minister again emphasized on that we have executives in teams and committees and co. Sometimes there's some outlier, individual who is so hardworking. Okay, I had the Honorable Kennedy Japan in I think the last 2 elections or co, when, you know, we finished our primaries. There was this particular guy who was an Allen supporter, ardent Allen supporter. Okay, Allen did not win. And so when the main campaign started, Kennedy Japan was so amazed that this guy was so outstanding in the campaign. You get it? So there are people like that. Okay? And so if you have such people and you think, no, we know these people, when we give them the responsibility, they'll be able to execute it, okay, and to uplift the image of the government and the benefits to the people. Why not? Okay?
There was one man that I thought would be giving the nod, because as MC, you also be head of the Security Council.
Yes.
You need managerial skills. You need supervisory skills.
Yes.
For the day-to-day administration. You will implement policy and all of that, and represent the president decently and conduct yourself well, be an example. Dr. Ishmael Norman, for example, he put himself up for the MCE job, and he was not considered. he was not considered. And if you look at him and the people, he not to take anything away from them, but if you look at him and you're looking for somebody who understands security, can think on his feet, do security job, coordinate, manage, the man runs the university and all of that, who best is qualified?
Yeah.
But again, it comes back to
Yes.
the argument that some have made, that George wants to contest Johnny for MPship.
Yeah.
And then George is told to hold on, let Johnny go and become the MP, so that when it's DCE time, we'll give it to George. Now that time comes, and then they don't give it to George, they go and give it to somebody else. Then fire sets.
Let me tell you something. Some of these things, are part of the backroom negotiations in the political terrain. I remember when my wife was going to put herself out for MP.
Right.
One of our big guys called me and told me, look, tell her to step down. And then when we win, we'll put her somewhere. And I humbly told him, I respect you, but she's taking the step. Let's allow her to go. Okay? If your candidate you prefer is good, let the person beat her towards. Okay? But we will go into the contest. Ultimately, she won the primaries and became the MP and went on to become a deputy minister of state.
So what you are saying that when people come to you for those backroom negotiations...
No. Sometimes...
Don't listen to them.
No. This one was one-on-one. It
Okay.
wasn't a structured party engagement.
But where the structured
When
party...
there's a structured party engagement, sometimes you listen.
And that's what I'm talking. When the structured party engagement comes...
And that will bring tension.
And they promise you, and now...
Yes,
that's why they were beating the chairman at Shripon. They were beating
No, but
him.
that one, no. Why should you beat? Okay?
Because he led the negotiation.
Let the
I don't support it, but he led the negotiation.
Let the leadership know that this is your promise. Okay? Because the party, my general secretary, may engage you, okay, with a chief that, look, this for this, because if you contest, it will be more acrimonious. Okay? So agree, George. Step back. Let Johnny go. Okay? And when this, but the dynamics change. Johnny won. The dynamics maybe change. Maybe change. And they want me to, you get it. Sometimes I'll feel betrayed and disappointed. Okay? But for the greater good of the party and government, the party and government, I think if you're a party person who believes and understands the ideals and principles of the MPP, you should be able to make those sacrifices. You don't always get your way around, okay? Make the sacrifice. Is it too big a sacrifice for us to have peace, harmony, and development in our communities? That is what you should look at.
Okay, well, your thoughts and comments shortly, we'll read them. But the 28-year-old heavily pregnant woman who was reportedly kidnapped last week, Thursday, in Sakradi, in the Western region, has been found, but without her baby. Take a look at this quickly, and then we'll come back in studio and have that conversation. Her name is Josephine Penny-Mensah, who was said to be pregnant, and by the time they found her in Axim, in the Zima, East Municipality, which is approximately 59.9 kilometers, translating into some 1.5 hour, 30 minutes drive from the regional capital. The baby was still with her.
Okay.
Let's hear it. Okay, so we will get you that sound, a bit of a technical challenge there. We'll get you that sound quickly, and then we will get into the conversation. I'm disturbed, George. We'll play that, but I'm disturbed, George, that we have too many fragments and segments, or if like segregations of security authority in this country. We have the national security, we have the NIB, which used to be BNI, we have the police, we have the military, we have CID.
We've always had them.
We have National Security Coordinator, we have National Security Minister with deputies, Interior Minister with deputies, Defense Minister with deputies, we have Director of Military Intelligence, all of them. And yet people are getting missing. And this is a classic case. Pregnant woman gets missing, comes back without the baby, and she said they were going to use her for rituals. Do you feel safe?
It's not the best, but yes, the structures, all of these security agencies you mentioned, they all have their responsibilities, their key roles and and they all point to the arrowhead, who is the president,
right.
And so, yes, it's not the best that a woman, understand, taking a walk, kidnap at dawn, a pregnant woman for ritual purposes. And what I read, said juju person said because she's a twin and a mother carrying twins,
Right.
you know, she was not fit for whatever they wanted to use her for. It's unfortunate that people still, for money and power, will do anything and everything, even sacrificing their own cliques to gain this power and riches. Is unfortunate, and our security, you know, sometimes when the criminals, if you don't have intels or informants getting you to be ahead of the criminal, the criminal is always a step ahead of the, you know, security agencies. That is a fact. And so when these things happen, the ability to investigate and then save the people is what is good. But this one,
well, the Western Regional Minister, Kwabena is also suggesting that the woman was not pregnant.
Oh, okay.
At the time, but for me,
but from what I read, she said she lost the baby as a result of a strike.
But the regional minister is also saying
medical doctors can determine, examine her,
whether she was pregnant or not. But the regional minister, just to place on record, the regional minister Kwabena is saying that he said it on Kesben. He said that the woman was not pregnant at the time. That's it. But
maybe the media got it wrong at the time.
I don't know yet, so we have to independently verify. He has said one thing, like you're saying.
The woman is back, so
the medical doctors
should examine her and see whether she was
and then for me, the crux of the conversation is about this trend. So she got kidnapped, and I'm sure you've seen the many photos of children missing here, this one there, that one there. It's become one too many in the last few weeks. Again, I ask you, do you feel safe? Because sometimes I think about my son.
Yes, of course. You always think, because you cannot be completely safe, because some have made kidnapping a business. Okay? These days, some have made kidnapping a business. And if people make kidnapping a business and take ransom for it, nobody can be safe. Nobody can be safe. That's how come the police from time to time give alerts or caution to the public to be careful and not to be handing over their children to people they don't know to send to school or to send to places for them, okay? And what you eat, your safety and all that. And so let's pay heed to the caution of the police to be safe in our communities and our society and bigger country. As long as kidnapping is seen as business by people and ritual practices is also in our society, we cannot say we are safe.
And this happened in Takoradi as well. You remember the 3 Takoradi, in fact 4 as of the close of. The case has still not been closed, by the way. The people are still under remand and in remand. But it happened in Takoradi again.
Yes.
I mean, the litany of persons who are getting missing and being reported on social media, this boy, this girl, this woman, this man, becoming one too many.
Yeah.
Is it your view that perhaps if we improve police visibility, we could ward off some of these miscreants?
No. It's unquestionable. Police visibility is a matter of course, and its impact is very, very important, okay? You know, because when the criminals set out to do something, they know a police vehicle with its siren can pass anytime. Okay, and so they will be careful. Okay, and so if the presence of the police, especially in our major cities, is improved or increased, it will help all of us. When you're traveling to Cape Coast these days, you feel a bit safer, especially in the evening. Okay, because of the number of barriers that you encounter before you get to Cape Coast. Okay, when you are coming back and it's in the evening, the policemen are doing a great job there. And so let's increase police visibility. This government is resourced or retooled the police service with more vehicles and others. Let's get them moving. We've increased the number of personnel. The ratio is actually improving. And so the visibility should be a matter of course, so that it will ward off criminals a little. It puts some fear in them, especially on our highways and then urban centers in the evenings. Let's do that. You cannot take that for granted.
Well, so the information...
It is a good preventive measure.
I hear. The news that broke was that the woman was pregnant at the time she took the walk and was kidnapped and all of that. And also, my colleague Kamala Kluche just supplied information to suggest that the regional minister in Western Region, Ochri Dako, has also said on Kesben FM that the woman was not pregnant, contrary to earlier reports. Okay. Now, our correspondent in the Western Region, Eric Yaweje, who has been on that beat, and he was actually on the 3 Takoradi missing girls and all of that. He has also said that the husband and brother of the woman in question have said that the woman was pregnant at the time the incident happened. So, 2 conflicting matters. And like George says, the only thing that can prove it is take the woman to the hospital.
The woman is back.
Let the gynae look at it.
Yes.
Let the midwives get in there and let's find out whether she was pregnant or not. That's as simple as that. Anyway, George, so let's wrap up this one. There's something I saw yesterday which I think I should bring to your attention. Danny played a street lights and traffic lights video for George to take a look. It's a national disaster. If the street lights are not working, they will come and call you when accidents happen, and they will call you, National Disaster Management Organization. Now, while we look for that video, by the way, let me, somebody sent a message to me asking very, very pertinent, I'm sure it's one of your staff, says, kindly find out from the PRO of NADMO when officers of the organization will be promoted. Some have been on the same rank for over 10 years.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. And it says ranks at NADMO are not commensurate with qualifications.
Very true.
Why have you refused to promote people who have been on the same rank for 10 years?
It's been a big headache for my Director General when since he took over. In fact, we had consultants to review the scheme for our staff. We did some workshops and and you know, I'm here to get to where we have gotten to with that consultancy work to get the structures. And you know, it's like we don't even take risk allowance. Disaster management organization?
Really?
You don't have risk allowance and those things, okay? And so, and it's true that you have somebody with a master's degree and, you know, it's not factored into the structure and others. That's why my boss wanted to get it properly restructured and then we can rise and go. And so, yes, there's work ongoing. And it's true. I've had people call me many times that they've been on the same rank 10, 12 years, 6 years, 8 years. In fact, they've even gone to upgrade themselves in disaster issues at the master's level. Specialized in disaster management. And yet...
So why are they not being promoted?
It's not being fair. So because of the structure. Not actually does not have a proper structure as far as rising and cooling. In fact, when I came, some of the things I heard is mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Okay?
Is it because there has been party boys and girls job?
Thank you.
Job for party boys and girls.
It could be. It could be.
It is. It is.
Don't worry. Let me use the word.
As for party boys and girls, when they say, for forestry, take them to NADMO forestry. It's as if it's not some serious enterprise that we are doing.
So, and I tell you, there are very highly qualified people in there. Okay, and it's not fair to them. Okay,
I agree.
Yes, it's not fair to them. So my Director General, Nanajiman Prempe, seeks to properly situate that.
Do we have a timeline for this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying as we speak. We've been to some 2-3 workshops, but I don't know the stage it is now.
You have been there since 2017.
Yes.
And we're in 2021.
Yes.
5 years. It's taking you 5 years to fix a structure that you are shocked about.
Restructuring things is not easy.
It's taking you 5 years. 5 years.
There are consultants
5 years.
who are working
5 years.
on the matter.
It's taking you 5 years to fix a structure that you are worried about.
But the last one, let me touch on. I believe we will get to the bottom of this matter. Right. People should be a bit patient. Last one, the team is going around about your
ID card. You're not giving them ID cards.
Yes, we are working on it. We are in the Western North region, also, and then Joaboso today, tomorrow, and then it's something. Sorry, tomorrow and Friday. Okay. Also and Joaboso. So let's all cooperate with them. They've been cooperating so far. We've done. Headquarters, Greater Accra, Eastern Region, Volta Region, Central Region. Okay, so we are going.
So they have given you your ID card?
No, we...
You also don't have your ID card?
Oh, Johnny.
George. But if you don't, if your national PRO does not have an ID card, how do you expect the NADMO person at
everybody will get it. Everybody will get it. No, they've taken their pictures, and so the data, they will synchronize them and then print them out too.
ID card. Yes. It's taking you 5 years to do ID
Don't
card.
worry. It's better late than never, John.
George.
You've been a crusader for it, and you should be happy that ultimately we are doing something about
you know where my shock is from? So somebody can just walk in here and say, I'm a NADMO person, and there's no way I can verify.
Yes.
Assuming I didn't have your number and I didn't know you,
yes.
I can't call to say X and X person has come here. They say they are from a NADMO office. I don't know. And it puts their lives in danger because people could lynch them.
We are rectifying
People beat them.
We are rectifying
like they beat the chairman at Shriponi. Why are you looking at me like that? Cookie, welcome.
He just passed the baton to me. He goes, Cookie. All right, I've come in, honey. He's been saved by the bell. He goes, Cookie. All right, so going through a few messages that we have received this morning. Prince Henry says, on the issue of the Okada drivers, the government of the day must be ashamed because of the way they criticized President John Mahama when he said we should legalize. When he said he will legalize and operationalize Okada. The way to go is to legalize Okada business to make it viable to all. Regards to Mago, Elekem Kotokoblibo, and Honorable Fifi quitting. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's legacy in terms of development across the length and breadth of the country. Okay, let me take that again. After Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's legacy in terms of development across the length and breadth of the country, the next government in the Fourth Republic is the NDC government. My regards to the NDC Northern Regional Vice Chairman Alhaji Rufai Veliman Osman Bukrison sent in that one. Now, Mahamba Kojo says the Sakawa 1992 constitution must be changed. Lottie Jones says the Carlos president increased his salary by 79%, but told the civil servants to be patriotic and serve the nation in hunger and depression. Not leadership, they are sleeping because they are okay with the 7% and 4% respectively. A.U. Farouk from Tamale says, as we celebrate the legacy of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the man whose words resounded every corner of the world and his impact still echoes throughout generations. Happy Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day. Now, Mystic says, it's undoubtedly true and inarguably clear that Nanado is the real definition of confusion and incompetence. So Nanado knew very well he was going to maintain majority of the old incompetent MMDCEs, and yet it's taking him 9 months. In fact, they don't have the men. The economic hardships under the inept, corrupt, clueless, and insensitive Nanado Dr. Baumia-led government is unbearable, and the center cannot hold. So for Yumasa says, the retained MMDCs must work to bring everyone on board. Any attempt to continue to be greedy will spell doom for the new patriotic party. Meanwhile, the president's choices must unconditionally be respected. Good morning. This one says, this appointment is the same as jobs for families and friends. Hajia Alima Muhammad's sister has been appointed as one of the DCs. God save us from this incompetent government. Ismaila Horaya Ali sent in that one. And this one is coming from Upper East, from Azaziro. And he says, I want to ask my boss what's going on in NADMO as compared to the other departments. Some of us completed our diploma and degree programs with some of our colleagues at GES for over 2 to 3 years now. And our colleagues at the other departments have not been upgraded.
They have been upgraded.
We those at NADMO are still hanging in there. Johnny, George is saying that George is one of the fine gentlemen that the NDC will maintain his position when we come to power 2024. He speaks truth and play in the gallery when issue seems too obvious. George, kindly advise your president to stop spending our money in the air after addressing empty chairs at the UK.
The UN.
In the UN, okay. Last one says, good morning. I'm not surprised we are importing pencils in this country. So with all the money that this government has borrowed, we can't even produce our own pencils. I think it would be good to bring our color TV back. John Mahama to finish his good work.
Thank you, Cookie T. Grateful.
Johnny,
did the president not know that the UN meeting was going to be virtual for most people?
Oh,
we could have done a virtual here. But he did a virtual cabinet meeting.
Once you invite them, Okay, it's
Okay.
the UN that you remember the Malawi president issued to the United Kingdom. You know, it was a virtual thing, but they wanted him present, some 4 key presidents to be present there.
Right.
Okay, so let's not
Okay.
downgrade. The last thing is police have arrested about 12 of our
That's
party
right.
people in Chereponi. And so let's not be misbehaving. Let's let the law follow through. Thank you. And of course, there have been some promotions in NADMO.
Somebody says
yes.
George is doing PR. Political folks who were employed recently were giving double-step promotion, leaving the old staff. And he says anonymous, obviously, because he doesn't want to be
No,
victimized.
not politics. There are some people who have been given promotions. Is a fact. Okay, but the general situation is what we are trying to look at with the structure. Okay, with consultants and co working on that. There's been some few promotions there, here and there.
I want us to wrap up with this. Take a look at this video and tell me what promise you can make to us to make a few calls, because it comes within your domain. Please show the traffic light video and the street light video for us. It's a disaster.
Assemblies, we've now appointed assemblies.
Please show the video for us.
DCs have been nominated, so let the assemblies endorse them.
Okay.
So that they
So
can
we should
fix
wait.
these things. It falls within the
No, I want to put it in context, please, Harriet, Danny, so that he gets to see it. Then when he's talking to it,
I see some.
You've seen some.
Sometimes we move around some of these places and they're dark. It's not too good. It's not too good. Either ECG and the assembly should work in tandem to fix our stuff. You know, the lights are there and the bulbs are off, and yet we don't see it as a priority to get the lights on. It's unfortunate. If it's the responsibility of, I know it's the assemblies, okay, they should be up and doing on this. They should be up.
I hear you. George AEC is the National Communications Director of the National Disaster Management Organization. He doesn't have an ID card to identify him, except his face. Most of his staff don't have ID cards as well. But John says, we can't go for walks or jogging in peace. The president says we are safe. Our children are no longer safe out there for fear of being kidnapped or murdered. But the president says we are safe. Broad daylight robberies everywhere. The president says we are safe. Are you? Good morning.